Hi there, this is Amit Amin of Happier Human, and I'm excited to have you here. If you want more for your life, you've come to the right place. 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with the chronic pain condition fibromyalgia, and my life as I knew it disappeared. I couldn't walk without the assistance of a cane. I couldn't write, so I needed to rely on voice recognition software. I had constant headaches. Most of the food I ate sent me straight to the bathroom, so I was the skinniest kid in town. I was lighter than most of the people my age, even the girls. Of course, my family wanted to help, and so they spent tens of thousands of dollars on getting me access to the best doctors. But it didn't make a difference. I was only 15 at the time, and the doctors didn't want to scare me, but I learned later that the typical prognosis is bad. The average person with fibromyalgia is confined to a life of collecting disability checks. But I never stopped trying, I persevered, and finally I managed. 3 years ago, I was a Wall Street consultant making more money than 99.99% of people my age. I was living in Times Square, eating the best food, traveling around the country. In spite of my health, I had achieved everything that I'd aspired for. More even than I had thought possible. But after a few months and some reflection, I realized something was missing. I wasn't happy. Have you ever heard of something called a cognitive bias? It's a type of mental shortcut which was helpful to cavemen, but now that we're living in a completely different world, is doing more to screw us over. Have you ever wondered how your friend, despite being as smart and as well-informed as you, could believe some of the most crazy, ridiculous things? Even after you've presented her with a well-reasoned analysis of the evidence? Colloquially, we would say she's being stubborn, but under the hood, what's going on is that her mind is selectively filtering out any information you give her which contradicts her pre-existing views. And so, going back to those brilliant doctors who were unable to help me, I thought that they just didn't care about me. But because of positive psychology, I realized there were cognitive biases at work. People consistently overestimate the amount of happiness that something will bring them. Have you ever wondered about the fact that we're 4 times richer than folks were 40 years ago? We have the internet, fast cars, amazing TV shows and movies, so many things that they didn't have back then, and yet the average person now reports being just 7% happier. How could that be true? We have so much more than they did. We have this assumption in our minds that the strength of our desire for something is associated with the amount of happiness we'll get if we actually acquire it. But it isn't. Our simple, intuitive understanding of happiness is wrong. Of course, we're not the first ones to realize that. People 40 years ago started to realize that people have more money, but are more stressed and less happy. And so they created the field of self-help. But even though those people in self-help have great intentions, there's a problem. For every 10 suggestions they might give you and that you might read, 2 might contradict each other, 5 might not actually help you in the long term, 1 might make things worse, and only 1 or 2 might actually help you. And so, wanting better answers, over the past 3 years, I've studied positive psychology, the science of happiness. We've looked at the happiest, most productive, most creative people and tried to figure out what makes them different. We've taken all those self-help ideas, the good and the bad, and we've tested them out so that you don't have to, so that you know which ones work. You don't have to guess. I believe that with the right tools, you could do more with your life than you thought possible. At Happier Human, I've combined the rigors of academia with the accessibility of self-help so that you can have those tools. So, check out some of the articles below. Over 70,000 people have already found some of them useful. I think you'll find something you like too.